Okay, this is video 2 of the 3-part video series of servo controls. This video I kind of like to go over just the basic principle of operations of a servo. So say for instance I want to go over the motion direct commands, and what you do here is if you've seen what I just did, you go to motion group and then go to virtual axis 1 and then go to motion direct commands. First off, what you want to do is motion, so this is a MAFR, which is a motion axis fault reset. Want to issue that. Want to come in and do a motion axis shutdown reset, and then at that point you can do a motion axis on. Now this is an illegal type right now because of the way it's done. We're using virtual axis, and that just gives you an understanding of what's going on. So even though I'm trying to do an on and off, it's giving me an illegal operation because they're virtual axes. So to kind of give a more clarification, this is mainly for like if you had actual hardware and you had a virtual, or you had a servo controller and you had a communication card down in the bottom of the I/O tree, then you would come in and you could do this process. I just want to show you this for the natural standard operation of what you should be doing first is a motion axis fault reset, a shutdown reset. Now those can be done, it can be done a shutdown reset first and then a fault reset. Generally speaking, I like to do a motion axis reset, a fault reset first and then a shutdown reset. And then after that you come in, and before you would do anything, I like to do an off and then an on when I'm programming, and then after I made sure all the states are correct, then I'd come in and do a jog or something of that nature. See, the axis is, so we haven't set our properties yet. So what I mean by that is our dynamics hasn't been set yet. So we can put we got our conversions, we have our units. As far as our dynamics, we don't have anything tied to it. So what you want to do is, being that we're online already, is go to manual adjust, and then at manual adjust you can put your speed. So we'll just say 200 is our max speed. The max acceleration, we'll just throw in 3400 for the XL, decel, and then the jerk, we'll come in and put that at, let's just say like 40,000. And that throws in everything at that point. So then we have our speed for axis 1 at 200, our maximum acceleration as 3400, maximum deceleration 3400, and our acceleration jerk at 40,000, which is 100% of max XL. So with that said, this may or may not allow me to run at this time. What we can do is hit home, and then try to run at, let's say, 10. So at this point, if we were to look at this tag, it would say that the motion axis status is on, and that this is, you can, by the way, this is a helpful time to look at this too. If you were looking at, if you're at version 18 or higher, I believe it might be 19 or higher, you can go to you can go to your axis if you're on the tag itself, and click this box up here, and it sorts all the tag properties by alphabetical order. So you can see the position is actually running right now. So if I went in and did a motion axis stop, if I just stopped it right there, you've seen the motion axis stopped. So at this point, we do off. Again, it's an illegal command because I cannot control an off and on for a virtual axis. So you will simply home it. You can home it just so you'll see the actual position go to 0, and then go to jog. Let's just put it, maybe let's go a little faster. Let's go 100, and then execute. So now you see the speed is a lot faster. And then, so the actual velocity is 99, and we have the speed set to 100. Now you can change the speed at any time. You can come in and write over it to 50, and you see it slows down to 50, and then you can see it's still running. So the status, the home status is good. Home status is good right here. The acceleration, the position command, you can see all the tags updating. So, and what I mean by that is, so in here, if you remember the motion group, so if you go to properties and the auto tag update, all the properties are updating automatically because we have that 4 millisecond scan rate. So the course rate update is at 4 milliseconds. So every 4 milliseconds it comes in and updates this. So if we wanted to slow this down, or let's say stop it, and again we can home it. And know when you do a home, it automatically cuts on. So, and then you can actually come in and do like a dynamic change, or not a dynamic change, but a redefine the position. So right now the position is 0, but the motion redefine position, you can come in here and you can select, say I want to put it at a position of 100. What you'll see is the actual position when I hit execute go to 100. So now it thinks it's at 100. Now that's almost similar to a home, but say for instance you had a home, you naturally had a home with an offset, then a standard home just is going to set it with the motion axis or motion direct commands is going to set it to a 0. But say for instance you had a home of an offset of 100, then you would want to come in and home it and then put a motion axis or motion redefine position at 100 and hit execute. And then at that point you could come in here and select jog. Now let's put the jog back down. Let's put it at 2. So it's really slow. So you see it's at the actual position is moving, the actual velocity is at 2 or 1.999. The command velocity is there. The home is good, and if we wanted to change that, say let's put it at 5. Now it's going to, the actual velocity is at 5, the average velocity is at 5. You can see it moving and then come in and stop. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and throw the rest of these, what we have as far as conversions or dynamics. Let's do the same thing in the rest of our axes. So 200, 3400, and then 40,000. Okay, so that's, again, that's axis 2. In homing position, we can put it at 0. That's another one I want to go over here in a minute, but I will go over this first. So our dynamics, again, 200. Oh, sorry. We're online, so you got to remember to always go to the manual adjust. So remember, you can't change it just right here unless you're offline. So being that we're online up here, want to go to manual adjust. At that point, put our dynamics. Max speed 200, 3400 for acceleration, 3400 for decel, 40,000 for accel jerk, 40,000 for decel jerk. Now all that's done. Now what we can do, so now we can control all 3 axes with motion axis commands. What we can do is put our homing and change our homing. So if we had that offset at 100, now we have to be offline to do this. So what I'll do is I'll go offline, and then I'll go to homing, and then change that to 100, and then real quick I'll download it again. Okay, now if I were to do a motion axis direct command on this now, and I did a home, now being that we're on axis 1, I did a home, it's going to home to 100 because I actually have my homing property. I'm telling it to home at a position of 100, where all my other axes are homing to 0. So at this point, I no longer need the motion redefined position. I no longer need that unless I want it to go back to 0. So if I click that now, it's going to go right back to 0. So real quick on this video, I just wanted to show you what a motion axis or motion direct command was. So if you go to right click and you go to motion direct commands, open them up, and you can do, like I said, your fault reset, your shutdown reset, your motion axis on, motion axis off, motion axis stop, motion axis jog, you have motion axis home, and then the redefined. Them are some of the more popular ones. You can do a gear, motion axis gear, a move to position. So if you wanted to move the axis to a position, you could too. But I just want to go over the way this is set up and set up the tag, all the attributes and the dynamics of the servos. So I hope this is I hope this went over what, as far as motion axis direct commands and everything, and I hope this gave you a better clarity of it and showed you where the axes work. And this concludes video 2, and we'll be doing video 3 and 4, actually programming some of the servos and programming commands and stuff like that. Thank you.